welcome. We're here at the power play, of course, the most exciting period in sport. Of course, in cricket, that's the period where the batsmen make their runs. Well, for our talk show, this is where we impact things that are impacting sports. Today we have with us the former national captain, now senator and the parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Sport, none other than David Nakid. He'll be with us as he launches or talks about his upcoming DNA. Yes, what's the DNA? Not that what's in your body. It's the David Nakid Academy Football League. That league, it promises to change the whole of the East-West corridor as we get ready for that. Of course, we can't have a former national captain here and not go over what has been a failed World Cup campaign as we look forward. Of course, we know that when certain persons are in position, they look forward. So we are hoping to have a bit of a look at that. And then a little further on, the ladies, they will not be left out as we talk to the national coach as they get ready. They head off tomorrow to Barbados for their first World Cup qualifiers against Barbados. We wish them well, but we also want to find out how things are going as they get ready to represent us at the World Cup. So with that, we go into the break. When we come back, we're going to have David Nakid as he kicks into it as we get ready to kick off the DNA Football League.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Welcome back. I'm Gordon Pierre, and with us, none other than David Nakid. David, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Michael. How are you doing?
I am fine, sir. A lot of excitement, a buzz around football as you get ready to kick off your league, the David Nakid Academy Football League. Can you tell us something about that?
Well, it's a grassroots initiative that was conceptualized based on what was formerly the Etihad Football League. And as I always say, let's give kudos to Etihad, who began that league in 1967. Of course, as we well know, that league finished quite a few years back. Even though it was still operating, it was basically finished. It was decimated. So we bring in that East-West initiative back to the corridor. But this time, we're making it a national, expansive nationally. So we're going to be in South Central and Tobago. But we want to keep the symbolism of the East-West corridor. Because, as you know, Gordon, my philosophy has always been fix the East-West corridor and we fix Trinidad and Tobago. So we're going deep into the communities along the East-West corridor, South Central and Tobago, and bring back that kind of community spirit, community love, community teaching across the board.
Well, you talk about community football, and we all have been saying for the longest while that the football needs to go back in the communities. So it's a beautiful initiative, but can you give us some of the details? We're hearing that you're going to be in South. How many teams are you looking to have? How long is this league?
Well, we plan to have 48 teams, 6 groups of 8. It looks like we're going to have more. The interest has been such that we might end up with about 60 teams. And we're going to have play up until a Sweet 16, of course. And then we're going to bring the teams from Tobago. Every group is going to play within their community because we want to engender that kind of community civic engagement. And then we're going to bring that Sweet 16, and then we're going to play a final Sweet 16 and go into a Big Four and all of that after. So it's going to be exciting. We're going to have a cultural engagement. With the 2 teams that are playing on the day, we're going to have a cultural engagement, whether it be African dance, tassa, drumming, steel pan, anything that those communities agree to. We're going to have almost like a talent, a discovery of talent there. And they're going to also go on to the final round in the Sweet 16. We're going to have coaches coming from the United States, coaches from Spain. We're going to have an all-star team picked from this league, picked from this team to travel to Spain to play a few games against Spanish teams and possibly get contracted.
Well, that's a lot. And, you know, the community, the grounds,
Yes.
there may just be a bit of problems getting community grounds at this time.
Why? Because of the cricket?
Well, not only the cricket, the weather conditions. When you pass and you see, look at the savannah. Remember, the savannah was the
Yes.
mecca of football.
Correct.
Yeah. And when you pass, you see the height of the grass there. How do you plan to combat that, to get grounds that are able to really house the people in terms of facilities and as well give us attractive football?
Well, this is all part of the ecosystem of this league. What we're going to do while we're doing the league, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister Kamal Prasad Bisasa, instructed the MPs to be part of it. So the MPs are going to be involved in having their community grounds ready. We're going to make sure that they're prepped, the grounds are in suitable conditions. And rain is going to fall, but rain
Only some cricket.
only some cricket. So we're going to be playing, but we're going to try and make those grounds better. There is an eventual plan by the Honorable Prime Minister to have in each community, by the time the UNC, after 10, 15, 20 years, leaves government, we're going to have an all-weather field in every single constituency that can afford, just like in Europe, that can have players playing despite the weather, keeping the same technical level, technical ability. We're going to have that. So all of this is part of that. So you're going to take a look at all these things that surround having a successful league.
Your kickoff date?
December 6th.
December 6th. Oh, that's right around the corner. So you could tell us here now, as I say, give us a scoop. December 6th, where?
December 8th, we're going to go back to where is the Etihad League. You see, unfortunately, a lot of people have put on their political hats in something that is community-based, community-driven, for the grassroots, for the poor and working class people, because let's face it, who plays football in Trinidad and Tobago? It's the poor and working class man, most of the time. And we've had people actually criticize the league as coming away from the roots, and that's not so at all. And proof of that is that we're going to have our first game on the Etihad ground. We're going to invite Mr. Etihad, because we want to always recognize the people who have gone and laid the foundation. And we're looking forward for that level of symbolism, that level of participation and engagement from the communities to come out and be part of that first game.
Oh, that's brilliant. So let's make it a date. December the 6th.
December
That's
6th.
next Friday. What time?
Etihad ground, most likely because it will be on the major ground. There are lights, but we want to make sure we get an early start, so we'll probably start at 4:30.
4:30. A 4:30 start. And we can expect nice excitement, cultural.
Oh,
outfit.
everything. We're gonna have. There's gonna be food trucks there. We're gonna have make sure that we're bringing it back to the community, where the community gets to know each other again.
Brilliant. Now, what about your players? There has been a bit of concern with members of the TTPFL, Tier 1, the people who play at the top level, that when community football starts to play, there's some of the players that can't resist that attraction to go back to play in front of their home ground. How do you balance the pro players, so to speak, coming back to play with their community teams in the DNA?
Well, there's a question you might best ask the TTPFL, and they have a responsibility to make sure that their players have the discipline to follow the rules of their clubs. I must tell you, as a league, we are not going to refuse anybody who wants to play in the league once they are registered and playing for a team. We're not going to refuse people. I remember I was playing in university, and so many of us good. And we would come back home and look forward to playing with Santos or whatever, or Parliament or Trin Grove in the league. So I'm not going to stop anybody who wants to play in the league. The clubs and the relationship between the clubs and their players must be of a certain level where the players know that they should be playing or not playing. in a different league.
Okay. All right. That answers one question. The timing, though. Of course, it's football season. Now, football is year-round, but we know Trinidad, traditionally, this is the football season. So a lot of persons also talk about the competition for referees.
Yeah, well, we've solved that. We've been in contact with the TTFA, with Kieran Edwards, with Andrew Boudou, and we found a solution concerning referees, so that's not going to be a problem. As far as season is concerned, that should not be a problem. We have to go away from our traditional way of thinking, where there's a season for football, there's a season for cricket. There's no such thing in Europe. Football plays all during the year. You have a couple of weeks off during the summer, so-called summer, July, August, and then you go back at it. The only way we can raise the level, especially this is a league that caters to developmental policy, you have to have a consistent time frame. And our time frame is going to be like the season in Europe. We're getting a late start. We're going to start in December. We're going to go all the way through to the end of May, just like in Europe. And this is development we're talking about. It's not an event. This is not a 2-week event and people go out, they get a little 10,000 and then they go out with a trophy and medals and they have achieved nothing. There's no pathway developed for them. This is a developmental policy envisioned by the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, and we're going to stick to that. We're going to go through 6-7 months of football where players have a chance to reevaluate their game every week. Coaches have a chance to correct mistakes. That is true development. At the end of it, there's going to be a pathway, whether through education or a pathway, whether through professionalism, if they reach a certain level. So what we are doing, we're putting it in the hands of the community. Come out, get yourself developed. You say you love football, you're always watching Man United, watching this one, Barcelona. Come out and get a chance to develop your game, develop your community, be engaged with the community, get some business within the community, and maybe you realize something, your goal at the end.
Okay, well, with that note, we're going to go to the break. When we come back, we have more right here on Real TV. Of course, just a little throat bug has stepped in, but we're going to look at the developmental pathways as we continue speaking with Senator David Nakid. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back after the break.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. Is thermally and acoustically insulated. Provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
Hi, I'm Zalisa Budu Singh Rupani, and I'm inviting you to join me for Conversations with Zalisa right here on Real TV. It's not just another talk show, it's a space for real stories, real insight, and real impact. We cover it all: health, law, parenting, relationships, drug and substance abuse, mental health, social issues, and so much more, with expert guests who help bring clarity to life's most important questions. So whether you're looking to be informed, empowered, or simply inspired, this show is for you. Weekdays at 10 a.m. with repeats on Real TV.
Ready to take your sales career to the next level? If you have a passion for connecting with clients, building meaningful relationships, and delivering results, we want you on our team. Join a dynamic, motivated environment where your experience matters, your ideas are valued, and your drive defines your success. Step into a role with real opportunity. Join the sales team at Real TV, where your future begins.
Call us today at 2926470 or WhatsApp us at 3847142. You can also send an email to realtv.corporate@gmail.com.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Welcome back. We at the Power Play, of course, the most exciting period in sport as we bring this Friday to a climax. We're talking with David Nackett, Senator David Nackett, of course, and he's talking, just running us through the DNA, that's the David Nackett Academy League. It's a football league that caters for the East-West corridor. Just before the break, though, he was talking about the developmental pathways. David, Trinidad and Tobago football has just gotten into a bit of a run within recent times. Today I was looking at it, and our highest FIFA rankings was in 2021, 25th. I think you would have been on that team, the team that would have just, it was around the time Bertil Sinclair into...
2001.
Yeah, 201, sorry, yeah, 201, when we were 25th. You would have been on that team. What has gone wrong in Trinidad and Tobago's football?
Well, everything. From the lessening of the participation among players, by us not developing the leagues that are important to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and important to our young players, boys and girls, our neglect, and I'm talking specifically about the SSFL, what we call the Colleges League. They haven't done anything to really improve that league. And that's where all our players play. You know, we still are a society where everything revolves around the community, around the church, around our schools. And if you don't develop things there, then at the end of the day, you're not going to have increased player participation. You're not going to have increased quality of players like we used to have. You know, and it's because we've had a stagnant mentality coming out of those who have governed the game. You know, they've relied on one or two people to push this thing. And football is not like that. When you look at Europe, which is really the standard to look at, you know, everybody is involved in making sure that a young player goes through the stages that is necessary to bring him to a level. When you go and see the teams train or play, the level of intensity is not there. There's no big difference in talent between Europe and the Caribbean or Africa and the Caribbean or anywhere. It's the kind of intensity that you see during the training sessions, during the games, that makes a difference. Now, if you train with intensity from the time you're a young boy and you just keep doing that, it develops a whole host of things. I'm talking about the actual development of potential. Because before we talk about pathways, educational or professional, we have to talk about developing the player to reach those pathways. It has to be a way. You can't talk about educational pathways because when a coach comes down to see a player, if that player doesn't have the necessary talent, skill, tactical awareness, and school qualifications, who's going to take him? So it's a whole ecosystem here we have to start working with. Because I remember the days, American coaches just had to hear a player was from Trinidad and he'd be offered a scholarship. Those days are gone. Long gone.
Now, we are here. You, of course, the parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Sport. What do you think we can do as a people to begin this recreation as I say, there's no need to recreate the wheel, but how do we get the things back, the foundation blocks back in place, so that probably 2030 may just be a bit close, but we could look more solidly at probably 2034.
Well, as I said before, there are three pillars, I would call them, that we have to start looking at and developing all our players around those. That's community, church, church meaning church, mosque, mandir, whatever, and schools. You know, we're still a very faith-based society, and we have to pay attention to, this league is precisely one that caters to the community. And we are hoping, soon I had a talk with the SSFL president, and he said he would love to have the school players within the Colleges League be involved in this league, because they play football for how long in the Colleges League? 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months. Yeah.
3 months. That is abysmal in 2025 that we have these young men, supposedly some of the best and brightest and, of our players, playing for 3 months. Then they do what? That's not proper development. So by the time they reach into big man football, as we say, into big man football, they're way behind the curve, you know. So we have to really start developing the community football again in a meaningful way, and developing the school football in a meaningful way.
Well, we're talking about the pathways, etc. We come back to just a couple weeks ago, we had a national heartbreak, if you can call it that.
You can call it that?
Yeah, another failed World Cup campaign. Your thoughts on that campaign?
Well, we did see improvement in the team, no doubt, as the games went on, but we failed. We failed. And when it comes to World Cup qualifying, it's either you make it or you did not. All the other variables, they don't come into play. It's either you made it or you did not. You know, and I think it's our fault because we've done things like giving credence to the strike squad, who failed. The strike squad failed, but we gave them a place in society, and perhaps a little bit in our psyche, where we said they did well and they brought the country together. The country comes together when we win. The country comes together when we go to a World Cup. You know, people can feel sorry for you or not, but in professional football, that carries no weight. Professional football is about the result. Did we qualify or not? So when you lose by a point or half a point or 2 points, you have lost.
You have lost, yeah.
Especially that the Strike Squad played against a college team, basically, from the United States. They were college players. And it was a pity that until now, our people, we haven't realized how much we failed. And we've continued, you know, so always we make an excuse, and it goes right over to cricket. Every day there's some new excuse about why they lost to Nepal and Bangladesh, or some, you know, some obscure team. Not saying Bangladesh is, but Nepal certainly is. And we have to get away from that. It's either we have the moxie, the courage to call it as it is, we failed or we have not failed, then we'll be in a path to realizing our objective of qualifying for a World Cup.
Right, that failed campaign, as we look at it, a lot of folks, just as you said, they would have found that a bit of improvement in the style of play, but the result, when you think unable to get a win at home, and even going away and losing one, drawing one and winning one, I think that says a whole lot when we look at it in total context. A total Caribbean group and a Jamaican team that is probably the worst we've seen in probably 2 decades.
Correct. Yeah. No, it was a failure. Even Curaçao, which was slightly better than the other teams, was not a great team. I've seen many, for example, Martinique back in the day was way superior to any of these teams. And we really had a sweetheart group. And we should have qualified. We lament this game or that game, but we were not good enough to bring the result. Whether we didn't have a goal scorer, everybody wants a goal scorer. But I don't think there was anything that let us feel confident that had we played not how many games we played? 6 games? 5 games?
Yeah, 5 games.
5 games.
So 6 games, 6 games.
We haven't seen anything that gave us confidence that had we played 12 games, that we would have gone through.
That being said, as we look forward, what's next, you think, for the national senior team at that level?
Well, you'll have to ask the TTFA. First of all, we need to get coaches and management in place. I don't know, are they going to keep Dwight? Are they going to keep Russell? Are they going to keep the staff? I must say, I felt you're not going to get a brand like Russell and Dwight anywhere else in the country. I'll tell you that way. So if you're deciding you're not keeping these guys, you have to go with someone who can bring a certain attractiveness to the brand, Trinidad and Tobago brand. That is one. I think the team did show improvement, but TTFA will have to decide if that improvement was enough for them to invest in these guys for another cycle. Because soon we'll have Gold Cup, and so I don't know Nation Leagues and all of those things. I still lament the fact we don't have any more the Caribbean Cup, which was major in our development as well, that we could have seen more and more players. But of course, that's something political that FIFA did intentionally to keep the Caribbean fractured and divided so that they can do what they do. But it is what it is. And I think the TTFA are the ones that have to be a bit under the light now, under the gun as to what they're going to do with the coaching staff.
Yeah, well, tomorrow there's a bigger stakeholder meeting at the UTT in Point Lisas, where the TTFA is going to have a chat with the stakeholders. But you're talking about assessment of the coaching staff. When you look at the TTFA, you see no coaching committee or no active coaching committee. So you wonder, how are we going to assess this campaign in terms of football, not as a fan, not as an administrator, but as a coach, as a technical person. What was missing from this campaign technically? So that's something we need to look at. There's also no technical director.
It's amazing to me. I think we found the last thing. We haven't appointed one.
Yeah, over a month.
So we had nobody to give us a technical evaluation. I don't think we have a technical committee in place. Yeah. I think the president of the TTFA appointed himself as the technical. So, I mean, all of these things, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all these egos and these, people who, instead of following procedure and following the standard that is set in Europe, they continue to do things in this Banana Republic way, this Banana Republic fashion, that doesn't lend to us being a better footballing nation. It doesn't lend itself to development by our players, because they need an environment that facilitates their growth. You don't give it to them, and I'm talking specifically about the PNM, you don't give it to them with proper facilities. You turn Skinner Park, and where I made my debut as a national player, you turn it into a fet match ground, where it's a stink and dirty every weekend for the PNM. You haven't taken care of the community grounds. The stadium is in a mess. Mani Ramjan, I think they condemned the whole pavilion.
Micah Oval.
They haven't done anything. Tell me one community ground. Now the UNC completed the Sangre Grande Regional Complex, so that's one. The Diego Martin is there, which they built for the 1%ers. If you ever went down in Diego Martin, I know you're from down there. If you go there in the morning, you're seeing the gym that they built, $1 million gym, but it's only Porsche and Mercedes-Benz outside because it ain't built for the community, and that's the PNM. But we have to change all of that. We realize what is the challenge ahead of us, and that's why we're bringing the football back to the communities.
Well, I just want to touch on one small aspect of the football. Of course, we know it's something that's very close to us and close to our hearts. Do you think that we, the people in football, and I categorize myself included, we have become part and parcel of what takes place at the TTFA, say the TTFA. Have we, they say, the people normally get the leaders
That they deserve.
that they deserve?
Well, your question is, are we, including myself, are we part of the malaise that we have fallen into? Yes and no. Because we elect people thinking that they're going to do what's best. So we must say that. And we're still a democratic society. But the amount of corruption that is involved in football, even Trinidad and Tobago with the voting and clubs being bought off by people who have a vested interest, and I mean, it's sickening. For me, it's disgusting. I would like something clean presented for the people. Because only when you move in a clean manner that you're going to have a clean objective. So when people come in with their own objectives, they want to run a show, they want to show there's a big man, everybody want to show, they can run a one-man show. And they know basically, they know little or nothing about football. And because I in this thing, since I'm 5 years old as a player, went on to play football for the next umpteen years, retired at the age of 41 from the national team, the age of 41, and then went into administration, my own academy, successful in Europe, in Lebanon, in Qatar, in Dubai. Boy, I'm not fed up, but I'm just hoping, God willing, that we can have some administrators who come in really with the interests of the young players across the country, because we have so much talent. I know it's a bit cliche, but we have so much talent in this country. But we need to give them the facilities and to facilitate their potential growth.
2030. Of course, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Of course, America, Mexico, and Canada, they're going to be back into the pool.
Correct.
So it's going to be a bit more difficult for countries from this region. But what can we do as of today to begin to realize the goal? They say since Trinidad and Tobago, it's 16 cycles that we have attempted to get a World Cup. We have gotten to one in 16. That is, if that was a boxing a record, you would not be a boxer. So how do we get that next World Cup qualifier?
Well, we have to start putting things. You see, what happened in 2006 is that we were fortunate in many circumstances. Jack Warner was involved, and I always say this, I won't go into it right now, this is not the forum, but Jack Warner basically got us to that World Cup. I know that, and people in football know that. He got us to that World Cup. We're not going to get those circumstances again, to be honest. We're not going to get those circumstances again. So we have to have honest work, honest endeavor. So we have to start putting things in place from now on. We have to start putting things, whether it be a coaching staff, management staff, a program for the next year and a half at least, where we know which teams we are playing against to improve, to give us the exposure. Who are the players involved? A pool of 60, a pool of 80, a pool of 40, I don't know. But we have to have that technical capacity to move forward. We cannot be just waiting and reacting to what things. We have a tournament? Okay, let's do this. We have a tournament, but let's do that. We have to be a bit more proactive. And we are the Ministry of Sport. We're here to accommodate. If people come with a plan, we are here to accommodate. And the Prime Minister, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, has always said, football is a unifier. Football unifies the country. And she will always be willing to invest in whatever is a good plan, something consistent to help with the development of our players so that we can reach a World Cup in a very honest way.
Well, on that note, we're going to go to the break. We've just swung into the political aspect of things, so we're going to go into that. When last we won a gold medal at the highest level in athletics, the UNC was there. Of course, Keyshawn Walcott in 2012 when he threw. And again, as soon as they returned to power, whether by coincidence or design, he threw the gold medal in the World Championships. So probably there's something there in terms of sport vibes, and direction. We're going to break. When we come back, we'll touch a bit on the political side of the football in sports, and you'll get a chance to call in. We'll give you the numbers after the break, or the numbers are on the screen. You can call 744-7325, 744-72325. So we're going to break. When we come back, we're going to swing into the political side of sport right here on the Power Play.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
I'm Smith. Have you ever wondered what a man is thinking? Have you ever wondered why a man does what he does? Well, join us on our new show called A Man's Perspective, right here on Real TV on Mondays 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., where we discuss just that. The points, the clues to get into a man's mind, right here on Real TV, bringing reality to you.
Are you reliable, self-motivated, a good communicator, and experienced in sales? Then Good Price Wholesalers is the right opportunity for you. We are looking for individuals to join our sales team in Central and South. Applicants must have their own vehicle, sales experience, good communication skills, and a strong work ethic. If you're ready to be part of a committed and professional team, we want to hear from you. Visit us at number 5 La Pastora Road, Santa Cruz, or call 338-9884 for serious inquiries.
Get ready to party with a purpose. The GMVS Community Parent Support Group presents Party with a Purpose, the Cooler Fete, fully AC activated and sailing aboard the Harbor Master on Friday, December 12th, 2025. Boarding starts at 7:30 p.m. We sail from 8 to 11 p.m. and it's just $250. Bring your cooler and your crew, but remember, no glass and no firearms. It's good vibes only as we party for a cause. Music by DJs Doll, Smalls, and Chunks, featuring Rihanna Gopal, Amit Suknanan, Rishi Singh, Suresh Miraj, the original Pumping in the Sandman, and Tracy D. For tickets, call Crystal at 379-9248. That's Party with a Purpose, the Cooler Fete. Cool vibes, warm hearts, and all for a good cause.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Welcome back to the Power Play. Well, Power Play, it has a double meaning. You know, when you talk about cricket, it's the most exciting 6 overs or so in cricket. But there's also the Power Play as we move things around. David, you have a momentous task in terms of trying to really get sport, kickstart sport that has been a bit dormant. We don't want to be a bit political, but we all know that within the last decade or so, sport has been on the back burner when it has come to being forceful. I think the Maniranjam Stadium is the perfect example. The best playing field surface in the country, and the stands are condemned and has been condemned for over 10 years.
Correct.
I think that speaks
Volumes.
volumes.
Correct.
Yeah, going forward. What do you think we need to do for sport in Trinidad and Tobago to kickstart sport?
Well, we did the first thing, which is vote PNM out. You know what I mean? They were absolutely horrendous. And I say that without having to wear any political hat. They were absolutely horrendous. You had a sports minister who knew nothing about any sport. Well, she said she was a hopscotch champion or something. You know, but it was ridiculous. I mean, they would have events, you know, for 2 days or 3 days. They tried to put on a league, a small goal league, that at the end they give them some 10,000 or trophies. It was just to fool the public into thinking that they were doing something. But we all know proper development in sports involves time. It involves patience. It involves talent identification officers. It involves proper coaches. It involves having a proper cadre of coaches. It involves M&E, monitoring and evaluation. It involves giving them an objective at the end, more than you know, these DUNs, PNM used to have people getting a certificate of participation. At the end of a certificate of participation, you have to have a proper objective that they can look and see, well, at the end of it, I'm walking away, maybe perhaps, if I dedicate myself, perhaps with a scholarship for my education, or maybe a contract. But you have to give them something that is meaningful. You can't give them the kind of things that Shamfaka Joe and, what's the next idiot? Foster Cummins. You know what I mean? They can't have that. Listen, when you're dealing with the young people of our country, you're dealing with our hope for the future. You can't play with that burden. So I'm not being facetious or so, but I'm being very, very clear. When you're dealing with them, you have to bring things that you can let them show themselves, let them feel a sense of worth, a sense of value. Because if they don't get the warmth from us in development, they will burn down the village to get the warmth.
Yeah, I agree with that. 7 months in to the UNC being in power, we've seen a lot of positive things happening in terms of 10% for public servants, dollar off on gas. We've also seen some things that people are not too happy with. There's mixed feelings about the closure of URP and CPEP. I'll talk about the national housing, some contracts losing out. But going forward in sport, in these tough economic times, how do your government plan to really balance the tough economic times and sport? We know in the Caribbean, sport is still considered in 2025 amazing play and recreation.
Correct, an afterthought. I call it afterthought. You know, if you look at, just to give you an example, because when they look at sport in Trinidad in the schools, they call it extracurricular activity. Sport should be integral to the curriculum. Shouldn't be extracurricular, it should be part of the curriculum. And that's where we made that mistake. We haven't changed that mindset. And I think the Honorable Prime Minister recognized that. That's why when I came up with this, I conceptualized this league to not only be the East-West corridor, but the whole country. She was immediate in her response, get it done. Because she recognized this is something with our bad economic situation that the PNM left us in. We have to do a lot with little. The public not going and talk about how PNM decimated the country. They created the Forex crisis with the closure of Petrochin. They cut 50,000 jobs. They're looking at what happened now, as you said. They're looking at URP and CPEP. Imagine that. This is how we view our people on the East-West corridor. We're always true, but you close down CPEP and URP. But the government, as the reason before, the PM government, who forced us in position to close down CPEP and URP? By all the ghost gangs they had in URP. I looked at URP. URP was a mess. CPEP, I understand. People were living daily, and and that's why we had this big employment drive recently to try and get people involved in meaningful jobs. as far as sport as you're talking about, this is what I'm doing is exactly what we need to do. We need to go back in the community and get people involved in their own development. Where else, Gordon, you will see a league, a community league where the first prize is $120,000. Second prize, $75,000. Third prize, $50,000. An all-star team going to Spain to play against teams that they have a chance. Coaches coming from the States to perhaps give you an educational pathway to improve your life. Where are you going to see that?
Yeah, definitely it's a project. Some people are saying the timing in terms of the conflict with the other leagues that are running. But it's definitely a project that is big in vision, you know, and objective. But when we look at the other sports, we're talking about football. We know football normally takes a large piece of the pie. I think it's a sport that has not given returns on investment.
Correct.
Yeah, when you look at, you go into the sport company and you check out the amount of money the sport company gives to football, I think we haven't produced for the return on investment. But that's a side point. But we have cricket.
Well, I want to go into that because the sports company under the PNM, I think they failed. They failed completely because they adopted the mindset of the PNM, which was to have events, you know, a month or 2 months. They never had an overarching policy which involved taking you from primary school all the way through, and for that you need coaches in schools. You need to make sure the coaches are trained. The sports company was not suitable for purpose under the PNM. But now, we have appointed new people, and hopefully that they will have a policy where we'll have development at the forefront of it.
Well, if you want to join in, you remember the lines are open. You can join us at 744-7325. Yeah, 744-7325. The numbers are on your screen. But David, the economic times, we're seeing a change across the Caribbean. Just yesterday or the day before that, we saw really the moving of a mountain. The man, Ralph Gonsalves, who was out of power after 25 years in power. So there seemed to be a change in terms of the political climate. Of course, we're hearing as well Shallow, Dr. Shallow from the West Indies Cricket Board. He's a man involved in the politics, and he may just be stepping aside to enter the politics. So there's a lot of things changing in the Caribbean at present, not only in Trinidad and Tobago. But for sport, because I'm going to double down, my first job really is a teacher, but sport saved me. Sports saved me in terms of it gave me something to believe in. Right. You know, I believed I was better than I was. It was only when I started to coach I realized that you would not go.
That's always a bad thing.
You was, yeah, and it's something that I tell the youngsters. Yeah. I wasn't going to make it in football, make big money, although I believe so. And I played and I won a couple of championships, both in school and out of school. But it gave me something to believe in, right, and something to hope for. And I think that hope is what steered me away from the elements that I could have easily been somewhere else, you know. But that hope, I think, is something that has begun to dwindle among the youth.
It has. You know, 10 years is a long time. Mm-hmm. You know, you suffocate people. When I mean suffocate, not physically, but you suffocate them with a lack of ideas, a lack of vision, a lack of leadership. You suffocate the young people without giving them anything, without having your policies aligned to us. Remember, Rowley's used to say, he don't really care about the poor. He want to make the rich richer, and they will take care of the poor. No, that was the core. People didn't realize that was the core of his philosophy in everything. So he never really cared about bringing policies. I mean, I have heard someone tell me that Patrick Manning used to leave the cabinet meetings angry because every policy he brought, Manning used to bring, they said, Raleigh would shoot it down, especially as policies for the East West Corridor, policies for Laventille, where you and I from. He used to shoot it down immediately. You didn't want to hear that. When you do that for 10 years, of course you're going to see a dwindling of hope. of course you're going to see a dwindling of aspirations, of ambition. And we have to bring that back, and that is the purpose of this initiative, to bring it back through football, which is our major sport. And it's our major sport on the corridor, and in the heartland, in South, Central, and in Tobago. So we're hoping that this initiative drives. It's going to take time. You know, we're hoping to get that enthusiasm back first year, then second year, third year, and we keep growing, Gordon. That is what we do. That is what development is.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, David, the time is almost up. If you still want to chime in, you could just get on your phone, give us a quick call. Let's hear what you have to say. But I think, David, you said a lot. I hope that the listening public go and reflect. I also hope that you maintain the passion and the drive to bring the idea, not from only idea, but to manifest it into reality. You know, implementation is so important. There are millions of ideas out there, but there's only a few that are implemented and that grow into things that are so large. Well, you know, from these small beginnings, I want to wish you well. I want to wish your team, Travis Marine, you have a good team around you. I want to wish you all well, that you will be able to implement this. Also, I want to give you all a couple of words of advice, you know, going forward in terms of sometimes, I know you're showing an Islamic belief. Sometimes you have to convert the enemy. Yeah. So I think some of your critics, they may be loud, but I think sometimes you got to convert them by your actions, you know, by keep on doing the good work. And I want to wish you all well going forward.
Thank you, Gordon. Yes, that's what we intend to do. We're going to let the football on the field and the efforts in the community to bring the communities together speak for our league and speak for the ideas that we have for this league. So even we look to see, as you say, our haters, our so-called enemies, we hope to see them at the grounds, and that'll be good enough for me.
Okay. Well, on that note, we're going to wish David Nakid a pleasant good night. Senator, the Honorable David Nakid, a pleasant good night as we get ready to bring in the ladies as they get ready to head off to Barbados for their opening World Cup qualifier, probably our last chance to qualify for a senior World Cup in this cycle. So we're going to the break. When we come back, we're going to have more right here on the Power Play.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Hi, I'm Naka, introducing to you Bridging the Gap, where we touch on the news, discuss social issues and current affairs with a twist. Every Monday to Friday in real time, right here on Real TV.
Ready to take your sales career to the next level? If you have a passion for connecting with clients, building meaningful relationships, and delivering results, we want you on our team. Join a dynamic, motivated environment where your experience matters, your ideas are valued, and your drive defines your success. Step into a role with real opportunity. Join the sales team at Real TV, where your future begins.
Call us today at 292-6470 or WhatsApp us at 384-7142. You can also send an email to realtv.corporate@gmail.com.
I am Avinash Singh, former Minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. I will be hosting the next Harvest, a forward-looking agricultural TV series exploring innovation, resilience, and opportunity across the Caribbean farming landscape. Join me right here on Real TV every Wednesday at 9 a.m. with repeats. See you soon.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Hi, I'm Naka, introducing to you Bridging the Gap, where we touch on the news, discuss social issues and current affairs with a twist. Every Monday to Friday in real time, right here on Real TV.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601, email info@cssl-tt.com, or visit our office at 30-32, Saddle Road, Maraval.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. Is thermally and acoustically insulated. Provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601, email info@cssl-tt.com, or visit our office at 30-32, Saddle Road, Maraval.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Yes, welcome back. We're here at the Power Play, right here on Real TV, your station for local sport. Well, we're just waiting for the coach of the women's team, Mr. Damian Briggs, to come online, as we're just having a bit of technical difficulties. But we can tell you that the ladies, the women senior team, they leave tomorrow, the 29th of November. They head off to Kensington, to Barbados to play against Barbados in their opening World Cup qualifier. Team full of experience, as well as some upcoming youngsters, led by Kenya Yaya Cordner. She leads, wears the captain armband for TNT, and includes the like of the exciting Nikita Gosain, as well as Kathleen Dawant. So a good mixture of experience and youth. As the Toronto Tobago ladies, they looked to create history this time around. Remember, in 2014, they came agonizingly close as they went down to the Ecuador team here in Trinidad and Tobago, just missing out on claiming a World Cup squad. That team led by the Egmachzik, Millie Atting-Johnson. She'll be involved here, as well as the manager of the team. So they are getting themselves ready to go, and they have been in training. It hasn't been the smoothest of sailings for them, a bit of a coaching change, but the management have really bounded together and have found a way to get a squad together that they think can get the job done for us. I think we have the coach on the line. So good afternoon, Mr. Briggs, and welcome.
Good evening to you. Thank you for having me on. Good evening to you.
Damian, if I can call you by your first name, you're getting ready for a very important game on Monday, it is, if I stand corrected?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is on Monday the 1st.
Right. Can you give us some details of that game so the public can know what is going to be happening on Monday?
Yes, on Monday the 1st, it's our first World Cup qualifier. And we look forward to it. We travel out to Barbados to play Barbados over at Kensington Oval. And yeah, we're raring to go, and we're quite positive that we can go there and come away with a result.
Well, you've had this team together for the last couple of months. Not the best period to get the team prepared, but the mood in the camp, Coach.
As I said earlier, the mood in the camp, it's the word we use is buzzing. I think everyone's quite excited. Everyone's happy. Everyone's quite positive, quite upbeat, and we're expecting to go there and just try and apply the things we've done in practice, and we've seen progression over the few weeks that we've been together, and everyone's raring and willing to go, and everyone's in that upbeat and positive mode.
The team led by Yaya Cordner. How does it feel to have a bit of a local legend when it comes to the women's game, leading a squad that you are the coach in charge of?
Yeah, it's great, and as a person, she's fantastic. Wonderful qualities and values, and as I previously said, it's good to have someone like her with her experience as well, not just on the pitch but off the pitch, with how she helps integrate some of the younger players within there, some of the players who've come into it for the first time, and just to see how she is in general. She's a great motivator, great leader, and someone who really wants to give everything for the country and everything towards the team. So I'm more than pleased to have someone like her on board, because again, like for her experience and the quality that she brings both on and off the pitch, it's something that's I guess every coach dreams of having.
Well, we go from the experienced star to the young and upcoming Nikita Gosain. She scored a beauty against Jamaica, and I think she signaled that she's ready to play at this level.
Yeah, again, like, she's got high potential. The thing with when you work with young players is you don't want to get too carried away, because there's still a lot to learn, and we know she has the potential and she has the quality to back the potential, but we try not to put too much pressure on some of the younger players. There's players also like Caitlin Darwin that's in there as well. So for me, helping the younger players to integrate with some of the more senior players is good, but also not just on the pitch, but off the pitch, to just keep them grounded and keep them working hard and working hard to achieve the true potential that they've shown.
Well, we're not going to look past Barbados, but we want to look at this group. You're in a group, a very interesting group. How do you look at this group when you look at the other teams in this group?
I think for us, what we have to do is take it one game at a time. Not that because we're playing Barbados, we're going to go to Barbados thinking, we're going to underestimate what they're doing, because at the same time, Barbados has been training and they've been training hard. And, on the day, any team can produce some sort of magic top class football. So we have to just take it game by game and approach, every game as we would approach any other game. So I think looking at the group, yes, we're in a group, but we also got to respect every opponent and, just try to, look at the differences in what they do. But again, it's game by game, and how we prepare for Barbados is going to be different to how we prepare for probably Honduras and how we prepare for El Salvador. But, Honduras and El Salvador is not our main concern right now. The immediate focus is just on Barbados. And I think the preparation is going well, and we look forward to going over Saturday, Sunday to continue our preparation before the game on Monday.
You all have flown a bit under the radar. The women's team haven't gotten into the spotlight. But with the men's team just being eliminated, does it build any added pressure on the women to be able to qualify for this World Cup?
I don't think there's added pressure on them. Again, as a staff, as a collective, we spoke about it, and the best way to take away the noise from what we're doing and take away that that added burden on their shoulder that we have to do something, again, is by just approaching everything game by game and trying to play the best football that we can play, trying to execute some of the things that we've been doing in practices. At times it was tough, it's challenging, but we stuck together, we've banded together. Like I said, the group's buzzing now, and they're seeing from, the progression that we've made from some of the things that we've learned from in training, from some of the practice games that we've had lead into it, and on Monday we just want to go out and give 100% of ourselves and represent the country to the best of our abilities.
Well, I don't want to look past Monday's game, but any words to corporate Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to the women game going forward? Again, I want to reiterate, I'm not looking past Monday, but I want to say that after Monday, there's a bit of a break between that first game and your second game. But there are a number of things that needs to be get in place. Probably you want to have a couple of camps. Any words for corporate Trinidad and Tobago concerning that?
For us, is again, like we're representing our country, and it's quite an honor for each member of staff and every player that comes to represent the country, and we're going to give our best. And apart from just the corporate, we want the country to get behind us. We want as much support as we can get. And yeah, as you said, there is a gap in between, but we would be working hard in preparation with the squad throughout. And again, there is the way we work together. There is the technical staff, there's the administrative staff who've been working really hard, and kudos to them because they've been working really hard behind the scenes to make everything happen. Director of football, both managers, the manager, assistant manager, they've worked tirelessly alongside the president, just to make sure that there's things in place so that the women's team can function as best as possible. And it's an ongoing sort of progression, and hopefully the corporate companies would see it and try to get involved more and understand that there is good excitement as well around the women's game, not just within the Caribbean but around the world. And our aim is to become the best women's football team in the Caribbean, and beyond that, get to the World Cup and go from there again. So for us is, as much support as we get, from corporate, non-corporate, we appreciate everything, and we're very grateful for everyone that supported us thus far on this journey, and long may it continue.
Yeah, it was December 1st, if I remember correctly. It was early December, just about 11 years ago, that we suffered a heartbreak. But on that day, I remember the stadium was packed to almost capacity. There was only standing room available as people came out to support our women's team. Do you envision this team being able to really rally the fans and recreate that moment?
Yeah, I think the good thing about this team now is that they've got the confidence to believe in themselves, and again, they're not trying to get ahead of themselves, and hopefully the public, when they see the type of football that we're trying to play, the way we're trying to play, and they will get behind us, and we got a belief that very soon, there'll be loads behind us. There's already lots of support, and like I said, we appreciate every bit, and hopefully that just keeps building, and we take it from there. But again, from myself, from the staff, from the players, we appreciate everyone and all the support that they've given us thus far.
Okay. Some of the players, though, Trinidad and Tobago, we like to really get up close and personal with the players. Some of us will be familiar with the likes of Victoria Swift, Small Prince, I think that's Leah Prince. But can you bring us up to date with some of the members of the squad? If you could just probably give us a couple of players and what can we can expect from them going into this tournament.
I think I think for me, like honestly, as a head coach, I'm pleased with the 23 members of the squad that's going in there, and I think everyone is unique in their own way, and everyone brings something different, and hence the reason why they've been added into the squad. So for me as a head coach, I can name all 23 that they all bring something, and so it's a healthy blend of sort of local players and players who apply their trade abroad, and the chemistry is starting to come in and stuff like that. But there, like I said, all 23 is there for a reason, and everyone has their part to play. So for me, it's going to be just difficult to say I'm naming 2 or 3 because I believe in all the players that's there, and the staff also believe in all the players that's there.
Totally a good answer, if ever there was one, politically correct, as well as team binding here, Coach Briggs. Well, yes. Coach, sorry, as you were saying?
No, sorry. No, I'm listening to you.
Okay, yeah, so, it's a good politically correct answer. So, Coach Briggs, I just want to thank you for making time in your busy schedule. I know it's going to be a bit of a panicking time now as you get things prepared. Not panicking time, but busy time as you get things prepared. As you all fly off tomorrow to represent the country, I want to wish you well and hope that you get the result that you want on Monday as you come back and build for the future. So, Coach Briggs, on behalf of all of us, I want to thank you for taking your time out.
No, and I want to thank you for having me on there. And I know that my thank you also covers the staff and the players and the directors and the president and everyone that's involved in this women's team. And yeah, like I said to everyone, it's like you alluded to before, it's a sort of a new squad and new sort of staff. But we look forward to the good things ahead, and we're quite confident and we're quite respectful of every opponent that we're going to play, and we take it game by game. And again, like I said, thank you for your support as well in sort of highlighting the good things that is happening around the women's game today. And yeah, again, from myself, my staff and the players, thank you for having me on tonight.
Okay, on that note, we're going to come to the end of this edition of the Power Play. We want to invite you to join us next Friday as we keep on covering sport. Remember, Real TV, real to the core, local to the heart. And with that, we're out of here. See you next week.